Greetings everyone. Now we are coming to the end of the topic on organic chemistry. Previously, we have been studying about the different kind of organic molecules. In this particular session, we are going to be discussing some of the carboxylic acid derivatives, which are known as amides, acid anhydrides, and acyl chlorides. These three organic compounds have something very much in common, that they all can be obtained from the reaction of carboxylic acids. Furthermore, their usage in the medicine industry is widespread. Their use as fertilizers. The smell of mice is due to one of the amide which is known as ethanamide, used in the perfume industry as well as explosives. So let's look at some of the interesting chemistry of these carboxylic acid derivatives. Let's look at how amides can be named. Firstly, what are amides exactly? These are derivatives of carboxylic acid where the OH group has been replaced by a nitrogen and a hydrogen group as shown here. This particular group is known as a functional group of an amide. It is this group that is going to take part in a chemical reaction. When we name amides, there are a certain set of rules that we have to follow, such as the name of the amides are similar to those of the carboxylic acid. However, the carboxylic acid name ends with oic acid, like methanoic acid, ethanoic acid. But in amides, the name is going to end with the word amide itself. If there are branches associated with the parent chain, then the group that contains the functional group will be named as the numbered as the lowest carbon atom. So this particular group, which is a functional group, will always have the carbon as carbon number 1. Let's look at an example of how we are going to name these amide. First of all, you can see here that it is not a linear structure. It is a branch structure where there are 4 carbon atoms in a long single chain. So the 4 carbon atoms are going to form the parent chain as butanamide. So you can see the first thing we put is a word, the alkyne name. Okay, so you put alkan and then you put the word amide. So if there are 2 carbon atoms, we will say ethanamide. 3 carbon atoms, it will be propanamide. 4 carbon atoms will be butanamide, and so forth. Now attached to this is a branch. Let's start with the numbering. The carbon which contains the functional group will always be having the lowest number. So that becomes carbon 1, that's carbon 2, carbon 3, and that's carbon number 4. We have a branch made of 1 carbon atom. A 1 carbon atom branch is the methyl group. Now since this methyl is on carbon 3, we say it is a 3-methyl group. So the name of this particular amide will be 3-methyl butanamide. Let's look at another example. So in this case, we are going to look at the parent chain one more time. The parent chain should contain the functional group. So now our longest chain of the parent will be, again, we have 4 carbon atoms. So the parent name will be butanamide. But let's look at the branches. There are 2 branches. Each of this branch is a methyl branch. So we look at the position of each branch. That's 3-methyl and that's 2-methyl. So since the branches are the same, we don't have to repeat them. We will put them together, stating as 2,3-dimethyl butanamide. Whenever we have same branches, we will use a prefix like di, tri, tetra, etc. But if the branches are different, then we will name them separately following alphabetical order. The next thing that we need to understand and study about amides is their formation. Like we have mentioned earlier, amides are derivatives of carboxylic acid, which means that they are formed by the reaction of carboxylic acid. So here we are going to look at some of the production of the amides using carboxylic acid. First of all, the carboxylic acid is changed into an ammonium salt, which is then going to produce an amide upon heating. So let's look at some examples here. How are we going to produce ammonium ethanoate, okay, by reacting ammonium chloride with ethanoic acid? Ammonium ethanoate is the ammonium salt that is produced by reacting the acid with ammonium carbonate. So let's look at this here now. Now this ethanoic acid is reacting with the amine ammonium carbonate, and in the process the H is going to be lost. Okay. So this particular hydrogen is going to be lost, and in place of the hydrogen the ammonium group is going to come and attach. One positive ion goes out, the other positive part is going to come and replace it. So now instead of the hydrogen we have the NH4 group, which is a positive charge. So now this has created ammonium ethanoate, which is a salt. Okay? A salt contains a positive ion and a negative ion. So this is a negative ion and that's a positive ion, which is why it is called a salt. Byproducts are water coming from H and the O, and the CO will give you carbon dioxide. Next, once the salt is formed, the mixture is then heated up until the ammonium salt is going to dehydrate. So we are going to heat up this salt, which is ammonium ethanoate, until it is going to lose water. So the water will be made from the hydrogen and the OH group. So they are going to be lost and we will be having CH3CONH2. Okay, so let's see how the loss of water molecule has taken place. So out of the 4 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens has been given out and one of the oxygen has been given out. So altogether we have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, which is going to form water. So whatever is left behind, which is the CH3CO, nitrogen is there and 2 hydrogens are there. So this is the group that is left behind, which is called the ethanamide. So in short, this is how we can write the reaction now. If you can combine these two reactions, we can see what is happening. Combine reaction number 1 and reaction number 2 together, we will see that there are certain things which are common, which means they will cancel out. So we will cancel out the ammonium salt. Okay, so we have 2 here. What we can do is we can multiply this by 2. Okay, if we multiply this particular equation by 2, we will be able to cancel the ethanamide. So we will have 2 moles of CH3COONH4 and 2 moles of CH3CONH. We will have 2 moles of H2O. So 2 moles of this ammonium ethanoate and 2 moles of ammonium ethanoate will cancel out with each other. So they will cancel out. And we are left with 2 and 1 water molecule, which will form 3 moles of water, which is shown here, and carbon dioxide. So all we have to do is to add reaction 1 and reaction 2 to give an overall balanced equation for the formation of amide. So the important thing to note here is amides are formed from carboxylic acid reaction with ammonium carbonate. The second group of carboxylic acid derivatives are known as acid anhydrides. Acid anhydrides, they are consisting of 2 acyl groups which are joined by an oxygen atom. So in other words, we can say that acid anhydrides are formed when 2 carboxylic acids react together to produce 2 acyl groups. And this is how the functional group of a acyl group looks like. So when 2 acyl groups are joined together, we get an acid anhydride. Now let's have a look at how acid anhydrides actually are formed from the carboxylic acid. But first of all, it's the naming part that we have to remember. The acid part of the carboxylic acid name is replaced with the word anhydride. So if we have a 2 carbon ethanoic acid, instead of calling ethanoic acid, the acid anhydride will be ethanoic anhydride. If it is a 3 carbon, it will be known as propanoic anhydride. Let's look at how acid anhydrides are formed from carboxylic acids. So when two carboxylic acids are combined, a molecule of water is removed, and as a result, anhydride is formed. So let's look at this example here. Now in this example, we have one carboxylic acid. Okay, so this is one carboxylic acid here, and there is another carboxylic acid here. A 2-carbon carboxylic acid is called ethanoic acid. One of the carboxylic acid is going to lose the H, while the other is going to lose the OH. And in the process, the byproduct will be H2O. So we will draw whatever is remaining. The items or the things that are remaining here will be this part of the acid group, and that part of the acid group is going to be this one here. Okay, so this is the part of the acid group that is left behind after the hydrogen is lost. And then the second carboxylic acid, which has lost the OH group, is now left with this part of the molecule. Now this part of the molecule has this particular carbon. Okay, so this particular carbon is going to bond to the oxygen. So we have that group attaching itself. So this carbon, which lost the OH, is now going to join with the oxygen here. So they are going to form a very special bond. So we have two groups of carboxylic acid which are joined to give an acid anhydride. This acid anhydride name is obtained from the parent carboxylic acid. So since our carboxylic acid was ethanoic acid, the name of the anhydride will be ethanoic anhydride. Okay. Now let's look at how we are going to name some of the amides. Keep in mind, the name of the amide depends on the carboxylic acid it is formed from. So if we are looking at methanoic anhydride, it simply means that two methanoic acids are joined together. Now if you're looking at the structure, this is how it will be. So we have a C double bond O H group. This particular carbon lost the this carbon lost the H group, so the H was attached to the oxygen here, and this particular carbon lost the OH group. So we have a 1 carbon carboxylic acid, therefore the name will be methanoic anhydride. Then we have the second one, ethanoic anhydride. So let's see which part of this is coming from which acid. Just like for formic anhydride, okay, this part was coming from the first methanoic acid, and this was coming from the second methanoic acid. Likewise here we have this particular group coming from one ethanoic acid, and this particular group is coming from another ethanoic acid. So this group must have lost the H plus, while this particular group lost the OH minus. So together the H plus and the OH minus would react to give you water as a byproduct. Then we have propanoic anhydride. So again, propanoic anhydride has two propanoic acids joined together. So that's one propanoic acid group, and that's the other propanoic acid group. And then we have butanoic anhydride, where the parent carboxylic acid is butanoic acid made of two butanoic acids joined together. Okay, so this is how acid anhydrides are drawn and named. Now the last bit of carboxylic acid derivatives that we are going to be studying is called acyl chlorides, also known as acid chlorides. Now these acid chlorides is where the OH group of the carboxylic acid is replaced by a chlorine atom. So when you are naming the acid chlorides, we are going to end the name with anoyl chloride. Like for example, In this example here, we have a carbonyl group, a C double bond O, an alkyl group, which is a CH3 group, and a chlorine atom. So that is an example of an acid chloride. We do the same thing we did before. Identify the longest chain of carbon atom. There are 2 carbon atoms, so the prefix is going to be eth. Now, because there is a COCl, it's an acid chloride group, the name will end with anyl chloride. So it will become ethanyl chloride. Next, another example here. The parent chain has 3 carbon atoms. So the prefix we use is prop, and it will become propanyl chloride. For this example here, identify the parent chain. There are 4 carbon atoms in the parent chain. Remember, the functional group should be part of the parent chain. So now we have 4 carbon atom. Prefix is but. So if you put the words together, it will be butynyl chloride. So students, I hope you have understood how the different acid derivatives are named based on their different functional group. The last thing that now we will be looking at is to prepare acid chlorides from carboxylic acids. So let's look at these equations here and see how the carboxylic acids react. Now when carboxylic acids reacts with pentachloride, phosphorus pentachloride, as seen in equation 1. In this, the OH group of the OH group of the acid is going to be lost, and the Cl is going to come and attach itself instead of the OH. So OH is a negative. One negative goes out, another negative will come in. So once that is done, we get the product as CH3COCl. Now the byproducts is going to be POCl3 and HCl. You have to remember the byproducts as well. Okay. Similarly, when the reaction occurs with phosphorus trichloride, again, the acid is going to lose the OH group, OH because it's a negative. So in order for a chloride to come in, one negative has to be lost. So Cl is going to come and replace the OH. So we will have ethanyl chloride, and the byproduct will be phosphorus acid. H3PO3 is phosphorus acid. Okay, students, so there we have it. I hope you have understood the chemistry of the different acid chlorides, the amides reaction, and about acid anhydrides, how they are formed from carboxylic acids. We are going to be looking at the last part of the topic on organic chemistry. Until then, take care. Bye.